In honor of the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, we pulled some recipes from the archives of the 1886 Woman's Cookbook and made them in our kitchens. Cookbooks are not just collections of recipes. They are portals into the kitchens, hearts, and lives of people of the past. Suffrage cookbooks were also political. They included endorsements for women's suffrage from prominent leaders and advice on how to make a pie. For many women in the late 1800s, domestic duties consumed most of their time, even when they held wage-earning jobs. Suffragists who needed to fundraise, reach new audiences, and defend against the notion that they would abandon their homes if given the right to vote found the cookbook to be a recipe for success. I chose to combine two of my main interests, treats and labor history, and to make a dessert by Harriet Hanson Robinson. In addition to writing and fundraising for women's suffrage, Harriet held many other jobs in her lifetime. While in Lowell, she worked as a mill girl and author. For much of the rest of her life, she lived in Malden, where she often wrote about her work as a good poor man's wife. The plum pudding recipe Harriet contributed to the suffrage cookbook requires a short preparation time and hours of boiling. We can imagine Harriet rushing around her home during that 4-hour boil. In her words, she was often, quote, busy at working and other thankless jobs. Thankless because there is so little to show, really, as the result of such labor. Yet I must confess that healthy and well-kept bodies are a great deal. Harriet cared for her family and fought for women's right to vote for decades. Both consumed much of her life. In her scrapbook, Harriet kept a snippet from an article about suffragists. Quote, "These women were either old maids or married women who were not particularly happy at home." Harriet also kept a rebuttal which noted that she, in fact, had several daughters. So, how did this pudding turn out? All of the Lowell employees who tried the pudding enjoyed it, with many likening it to a brown bread. But maybe they're a bit biased and partial to a former mill girl's recipe.